Welcome to another episode of Chef Bill Cooks. Today, Chef Bill, that's me, I'm making buffalo wings and French onion soup. Two things that I shouldn't make, probably. Secret to good French onion soup is good onions. So here's the technique I like. Chop the root end off, chop the stem end off. So, here's my point. You should never ever be without an onion in your life. So always save at least one onion. Once the onions are peeled, then you can begin to slice them. Since we're going to be cooking these onions, the shape is not as important as the thin slices. So I like to slice my onions in half, then thinly slice the two halves. It's important to heat the pan and use good olive oil when you're making onion soup. Heat the pan first. There they are. They're sautéing now. They'll be brown soon. The onions continue to cook nicely. Okay, to help the caramelization process, you want to add a little bit of sugar to your onions about 10 minutes into the cooking process. 3 little scoops like this, maybe 4. It makes the onions caramelize, which means to turn brown under heat. Thank you. To make the sauce for the chicken wings, we're going to start with a stick of butter and some hot sauce. First, you melt the stick of butter in the saucepan. As the butter is melting, we're going to add a little bit of the Tabasco sauce. Actually, I'm going to add all that I have, but I think it won't be quite enough. Better put more Tabasco on the shopping list. Hey Nalts, how's that for product placement? Tabasco sauce. Okay, as you can see, the onions are starting to caramelize. Looks good. So it says white wine or white wine vinegar, I can't remember which, so I'm going to use some of the very good from Trader Joe's, Charles Shaw Sauvignon Blanc, just a little bit, to give it a little acidity. Okay, I'm not the worst chef in the world because I use minced garlic from a jar, but it's made. You want to add a bay leaf or 2. I don't use the ground bay leaf, use the whole one. If you've got fresh thyme, use it, but if you haven't got fresh thyme, add about that much, half a teaspoon of thyme to your simmering onions. You know I'm making all this up as I go, right? Use a high quality chicken broth and add that about a minute after you've started to add the garlic. Add the garlic. You can also use beef broth if you like. I didn't have any, so I'm using chicken broth. Thanks, assistant cameraman.
You're welcome.
So this will continue to simmer for 15 or 20 minutes or until I feel like it. This is a meal you could make in college for probably $2 for the chicken broth, $2 for the onions, and really that's about it. So very inexpensive. You'll serve it with some French bread if you've got it. This happens to be a California sourdough or San Francisco style sourdough bread. It'll be delicious, I'm sure. Well, the onion soup is coming along very nicely. I think it's time for me to take a little sample of it, so here goes. I'm probably making a mess doing this, but I promise to clean it up. Yum, yum, yum. This is the perfect thing to have. Some sourdough bread, onion soup made with chicken broth on a cold spring day, because if you look outside, it's still snowing pretty good. Delish. Look, I'll be honest with you. I'm not a chef. If you want good tips for cooking and some good recipes, check over there in the links. See my friend Chef Brian. He's got some good ideas. That's what I say. Get professional help. Chef Brian.